Hi, class. In this lecture here, we're going to do a quick introduction to Chapter 3, talk about the sections we're going to cover, and what the major theme is. And this chapter is called Infinity. And so what's going on? So in this chapter, we're going to explore the concept of infinity. So when you think about infinity in mathematics, right, you think about or just maybe infinity in general, you think about forever, never ending. In mathematics, you might think of it as like the numbers just getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and never stop. And so what we'll discover that there is not just one vast quantity called infinity. Instead, even infinity has peers and superiors. When we get into some of the later sections, we'll talk about like something called infinitely countable, something's not infinitely countable. So instead of one infinity, we'll see a constellation of infinities, kind of a way to think about it as different types of infinities, each different from the other, each with unique features and qualities that can be explored. And our single image of one luminous but ill-defined infinity will burst into infinitely many clear different infinities, okay? And they're related somehow and intertwined. And so for us, what we're going to look at, we're only going to look at three sections here. The first one is section 3.1 called Beyond Numbers. It talks about what does infinity mean. Section 3.2 will talk about comparing the infinite, and the big takeaway from that section will be talking about something called a one-to-one correspondence, which is incredibly important. And then we'll get into section 3.3. It's called the missing number. It talks about this mathematician named George Cantor and something called Cantor's theorems. And this weird concept is like, are some infinities larger than other infinities? It's like, well, if you have two things that go on forever, how could one be larger than the other? And then there are a few other sections in this chapter that we don't cover, but I do encourage you to review them as the concepts are interesting. But yeah, I'll follow this up with video lectures on each of these sections for you.